Hi.
Hey, what's up? Step forward. Yeah. What's going on?
Just here at this Red Bull event. I think it's really kind of cool that we're all getting together and being able to do something cool like this in Orlando.
Right? So now introduce yourself to the people.
My name is Gregorii. I'm an artist in Orlando that is kind of like mixed media-esque kind of digitally art.
Mixed media is an understatement because what you did was phenomenal. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I work with a lot with illumination of light. I work a lot with LED and light illumination and art and trying to create something that has a lot of depth and a lot of abstract color. I'm really all about the abstract color.
Okay. So now tell me about how long did it take you to develop this? Because it seems like a lot of it's technology. Technology had to kind of catch up to you.
I've been working on this process probably for, I want to say, maybe about almost 10 years, but I've really been starting to hit it hard probably in the last maybe 4 or 5 years, only because it would take so long. When I first started working on this stuff, it would take so long to kind of produce and render these images because it's really all a bunch of math equations. So it ends up having to be this large photographical render. It's kind of like a 3D render, but it's like super high pixel res, like 400 megapixel or something like that, something insane.
So tell me about the process from like start to finish.
Okay. I work with a couple different programs, and they're really not like photo editing programs or anything like that. They're digital programs. It's more along the lines of math algorithm programs. I used to be involved a lot with a lot of different types of programming languages and stuff because I do particle system generation for like 3D and effects and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So pretty cool. And I used to start getting involved with that and applied it a little bit more to the digital editing side. So I thought it was interesting that you could plug in a page full of numbers and come out with something that was really crazy. I mean, once you start applying different types of gradations and things like that to it and color, it turns into something kind of a lot different than what you had expected. And it was cool because I wanted to try and see if I could create a certain type of art that didn't apply itself to what was normally in our surroundings. It was really more along the lines of something that was created from nothing, like art that was just generated out of the fact that it was there.
Just numbers.
So really not so much duplicating any images that have been seen before or something photographical or even duplicating something with paint. It was like I looked at it as like a whole new frontier of art. So because suddenly you're just like pumping something in and something's coming out. I mean, in our lives, I think that there's a lot of things that we rely on with numbers. It's like, from time to your age to history to anything. So it ends up being, if you were to take those numbers and instead of relying on those numbers, have those numbers be the creator, kind of would be a little bit of a flip over. And that's kind of what was so intriguing when I started working with it.
So now, since it's all kind of like mathematical, is it random or can it be repeated or like?
You can be the stuff that the math equation, once I create that equation, could be repeated again.
Yeah.
But the process to render it out, I mean, this specific thing, this cooler is really small. Most of my art's like 40 by 40 or larger.
Feet.
No,
inches.
Inches.
Damn.
No, it's like
40, that'll take years to calculate.
40 by 40 or larger. But I mean, this thing right here took about, I think it was 84 straight hours of rendering time to be able to have it kind of output at such a high resolution. Because I'm totally about like the high resolution stuff because I mean it's got to be super max detail, and I want it to be as detailed as possible. I want people to be looking at something like an inch away and still be able to be drawn into that kind of art.
So now what were some of the challenges? Because you said it's 40 by 40 is what you normally do.
Yeah.
What were some of the challenges as far as having a cube, pretty much?
I had to consider it as if it were like a triptych, so like a 3-panel. That was the initial idea on how we were going to manage that. How we were going to manage the wraparound of something like that in the dimensional space of the cube. The cool thing about this is I'm starting to work on a couple other projects that are more sculptural and starting to involve themselves in working in spheres and cubes more so. So this is a great kickoff for that, man. It's going to be like awesome coming up in the next couple of years because I'm really working towards that as far as projection-based art and things like that are concerned. So it's really been really good kickoff from the inside out of being able to do something like that.
So I'm assuming you keep up with like technology to kind of see where we can incorporate it into what you're doing.
Yeah,
What's exciting? What's coming up in technology that you're kind of like looking forward to?
A couple things that are coming up in technology that I think are super awesome that I'm looking at right now.
Yeah.
augmented reality, I think, is a huge thing. It's going to be something pretty cool, especially once people start using more wearable technology like Google Glass and things like that, because you're going to end up having a whole separate kind of like alternate universe of digital there that would be really something cool that could come to life. So I'm really looking closely at that stuff. I'm looking closely at other types of dimensional algorithms there instead of just something that's a little bit 2D, so that I can see how we could do what we could do with 3D sculpture a little bit more. There are a lot of artists that are doing that already, and I think a lot of stuff that I've seen has been freaking groundbreaking.
So like
awesome.
The projection mapping and things, those are the type of
yeah,
things?
projection mapping and also 3D printing and being able to accommodate 3D printing in that same kind of function. Like taking that kind of abstract shape and putting it in 3D printing, what would that actually turn out to be?
Yeah, that would be crazy.
Would it just be some crazy inside-out mess or what? So I mean, I'm looking forward to working more with some of those ideas and seeing how we can make that happen, but still keeping it at that super tight, awesome resolution.
All right. And now, what, besides numbers and mathematics, what inspires you?
What inspires me?
Yeah.
Color and light. Color and light mostly, and the way that light interacts. I mean, a lot of the stuff that I create has kind of like a backstory behind it, and a lot of the images that I see are like kind of they're like visions of light, as if you're looking through like a prismatic reflection of something, or looking at the shadows of something, not necessarily looking at the direct piece itself. When I regard things around me, I usually see the fragments around the outside of them. I don't really normally just look at the subject matter. I look at the kind of like the fallout of that, and that's the stuff that inspires me. It's like the aura or the aura, or the energy around it that surrounds it. That's kind of like the inspiring thing to me. That's the thing that I think no one else looks at. So that's the thing I want to capture and be able to kind of present forward.
Nice. So now today's final outcome, is that kind of like what you had in your brain? How close was it?
Yeah, no, totally.
Nice.
It was 100%. We had a little bit of a difficulty trying to get the adhesion to work on it a little bit, but we solved it quickly because I had like 3 fallbacks in case something didn't work. So yeah, so it came out exactly the way that I wanted, and I'm glad it worked out. I'm glad I had the opportunity to do it. So. All
right. So now, how can people find out more information about you?
You can go to my website. That's probably the fastest and easiest way. It's Gregorii.com.
Gregorii.com?
Yeah, Gregorii.
Wow,
so,
nice.
.com. I also am on Facebook and Twitter, like Gregorii Art. Most of the stuff, I have the blog as well, which is blogspot.gregorii.com. Gregorii.blogspot.com. So that's the social parts of it. I'm also showing right now in Jai Gallery down here in Orlando. So I have like maybe 6 pieces there right now. And I have a lot of stuff that I go out and do every once in a while, just to like stuff like this that I try and get involved with, just because I think it's cool, and I want to try and spread my wings a little bit and stretch myself a little bit in different directions to see what I can try and accomplish.
Yeah. So now talk about the Orlando scene as far as you see it. Like do you collaborate with a lot of artists? Or?
I try to collaborate with a lot of artists. The cool thing about Orlando, I think, is that it has a pretty friendly art scene. I mean, there are a lot of markets that have these like really staunch and top edge art scenes that are kind of like lame. So I think it's cool that a lot of artists get together and are able to kind of put their styles into single, collaborations. I see pieces of art that have like 3 or 4 different artists attached to them, and I think that's awesome that we have that kind of cohesion, as far as an arts group and scene is concerned. As far as the buying scene is concerned, it's still in that kind of like upper tourist, sort of somewhat affluent market. So it's not like we have this huge level of hugely affluent buyers that keep on flowing through Orlando. You usually see buyers like that coming through New York or coming through Chicago or LA or something like that, larger cities, Miami. So you don't really get that so much in Orlando, but I'm not sure if that's a good thing or if it's a bad thing, because honestly it's almost a better thing, because it's giving us a chance, I think, as artists in this town to kind of cut our teeth a little bit more, refine a little bit more, and kind of stretch out a little bit more and move towards these other different markets. So this is a great place to jump as a jumping off market, because it's friendlier, and I think that there's a lot more opportunity and a lot more openness for artists to kind of get together and collaborate.
Nice.
So it's pretty cool.
Well, I know you got a couple more things to do on your piece or something, right? Or you
Yeah. We had a little challenge with the door opening the right way, so we're going to solve that right now. But aside from that, yeah, we're good.
All right, cool. Well, thank you, Gregorii.
No problem.
Once again, it's Gregorii, no Y, but 2 I's, .com.
Yep.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Congratulations and good luck.
Thank you very much.
Easy, peace.